Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be making a mash paddle out of a canoe paddle. I got this one from Walmart for about $20. You can find ones online already for between $10 and $50, but we're going to do it ourselves. So with our paddle, we are going to need an 1.5 inch bit, or really any size bit you have laying around. There's no need to go buy a bit just to drill some holes. But we'll make sure that as we're drilling our holes, that we leave enough material behind to make sure it doesn't break as we're stirring our mashes, but make sure that there's enough holes that it helps the paddle break everything up as you're stirring it. And once you're done drilling all your holes, you want to reseal the paddle and anything that's going to be touching your mash with some cutting board oil. Just so that way you keep anything you might not want in your mash out of it and keeps it cleaner. So let's get set up to drill some holes and knock this out real quick. All right, fail number 2. I did not have the camera recording when I started this. So, like I was saying, you're going to want to pick spots to where you leave enough material behind and it doesn't overly weaken the paddle, so that way as you're stirring it doesn't fall apart and break. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and drill out 2 holes, 1 hole, 2 holes, 1 hole, 2 holes, and I think that should give it enough strength and enough area for the mash to pass through as you're stirring it. All right, I have 8 holes drilled in. I got them spaced out pretty decently to where I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about this paddle ever breaking as I'm stirring mash. So what we're gonna do next is get a little piece of sandpaper and a hand block. We're gonna rough this down a little bit, clean up the edges on both sides, and then we will rub it down with the cutting board oil. All right, so I couldn't find my my block sander, so I'm gonna have to improvise with a bottle of glue. So all I'm gonna do is just take this 220 across here and smooth out the rough edges. I wish I could have found my 80 grit, but just kind of, go across at all angles. Get that part all smoothed out. Flip it over, do the same thing, knock off the edges. All right. I had to rip off a little piece of sandpaper just so I could really get the edges how I wanted it and take off the last couple of strays. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clean up our workstation and we're going to get a rag so that way we can apply the cutting board oil. All right, so now the next step in this process is we are going to add our cutting board oil to our paddle that now has been sanded and has had holes drilled out in it. So let's go ahead and just drip this on here a little bit. And somebody's going to say, oh, you should have put it on the rag before you, but it's just what I did. So just give it a nice little wipe on. You're not trying to wipe it off. Just coat it nice. Flip it over. The other side with it. Ooh, squirt, squirt. Same thing. Rub it all around. Now, want to cover the bottom side of the hole a little bit. Get it inside the hole. Wherever you see a dry spot, just keep rubbing it. And that should do it. Now we're going to let it soak for a little bit. And then we'll come back and about an hour or two, and whatever doesn't soak into the wood, we'll just wipe off and we will be done. Well, thanks for joining me today. That's going to complete this video. We have successfully turned a canoe paddle into a mash paddle, and I can't wait to use this thing. Probably in a couple of days. Got 100 pounds of corn in, and we'll be running my first grain mash. I'm really excited about that. I got my amylazes in, the corn. I was gonna put barley in it, but I'm not set up to germinate that yet. That'll be soon. In a couple of days, we will go over the still and what I have planned for it. I got a couple more parts in, and we're going to cut into it some more. So join me in a couple of days, and I will see you guys next time.